This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the faucet. We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter.
Yeah, I want.
Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on. He likes it. It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
Oh yeah, whoops. I was busy. How the hell is everybody? It's Wednesday. Thought I had it all together up until about a second ago, but now I'm back together again. Great to be here. Wednesday. Every Wednesday, like clockwork. Welcome to Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show. As I said, every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Minus a button or two. God willing, all here. Hope everybody's doing well. Fantastic weather this week. Spring is in the air. I think. Not that kind of spring. But it's been great out in many parts of the country. Talked to a friend today down on the Gulf Coast. Said it was 75, light breeze blowing. Couldn't ask for a better day. Over here in Southern California, it was just about on the verge of sweating. Great weather. But some places are still going to have to take a little time. But either way, I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Let's see what's going on here early in the comments. Look, Steve B. beaten off to the races, man. Right there, waiting, chomping at the bit. Can't wait. Neither can I. Welcome. There we go. And then look who we got here. It's the Gulf Coast correspondent. Hey, Pete, let me hold the dollar. Yeah, as soon as I get $1, I'll let you hold it. Take a check. And what else we got going? What does Paul say? Paul says that love is in the air. Love is in the air. It's springtime bikini weather, Paul. So get your bikini all warmed up. Pay to see that shit. Yeah. I'd put that crap on the show. We'd feature you. But either way, speaking of show, we got a great show tonight. All fun and games, but do have a great show tonight. Kind of taking it a step back, going back to my roots, so to speak, life. You know, lately there's so much current events going on. I can't help it because that's important stuff too, because it's the life we're living right now. But we're going to take it back and we're going to do something. I am going to be talking tonight about men's health, mental health, depression, suicide. I mean, it's a lot bigger than what's talked about, and I can never talk about it enough. There's way more men that suffer with this type of illness than you really know. It's kind of like a silent killer for not being, you know, and how do you want to call it? An organal disease. It's a mental disease, and a lot of people don't understand it either. And we're going to talk about that tonight, because tonight, what got me to do the show tonight was I was talking to an old friend. I've known this guy since I was 16. Played in one of the first bands I ever made my first dollar with. And we lost track for many, many years, but then we kind of found each other probably around 2014, 13 or 14. And we've been in touch. We'll get into that. But the bottom line is only about a couple of months ago. And I've seen this guy a bunch since finding him again. Because I grew up with him, basically not grew up, but we're in Pensacola, Gulf Coast. I've been in Southern California almost 34 years. April will be 34 years, which is a long time. Kind of really makes you take a look at things. But come to find out, he was 20 miles away from me over here in Southern California and has been here, and I had no clue. So we got together. We've done a little bit of playing and things like that. But anyway, at the end of the day, only a couple of months ago, during a phone conversation, did it come out that he's telling me he suffers from depression. And I would have never figured it, because the times when I was around, when we're all around, I just don't see it. But again, I only see him for a little bit. But I know enough about depression and men's health and suicide. I can count on, fill up my hand of people I know that have committed suicide because their brain got all screwed up and they got all messed up in their head and they took themselves out just because they didn't really realize what they were doing. And I know if they could have taken it back, they would have. Good people, not bad people. And it's a serious issue. And so we must have talked 3 hours that night, because I didn't even know it. But from what I gather, he was kind of having a little bit of a episode then. And I kind of, with all my stupid shit I talk about, I kind of at least took his mind off of things. And after we talked about that, I asked him, I said, would you be willing to come on this show and just be open? And because there's a lot of people that need to hear this kind of stuff, because a lot of people go through this and think that they're the only ones. And he said yes. So tonight I'm going to have Jeff on the phone. He agreed to come on phone. He didn't want to come on camera, which I said that's totally cool, so long as we tell the story. And he's going to be on in just a short while, and we're gonna go into it, about into depth, and what he's doing to try to better himself. And again, for most people, you don't understand. It's like, how can that be? I don't, because I get pissed off, but that's not depression. That's stupidity. Just, this whole different ball game. So we're going to break it down and get into it. And I think you're going to enjoy this. I think people need to know this. People need to hear this. It's important. So thank you for tuning in. I want to remind everybody to share, subscribe, please. YouTube, subscribe, Facebook, follow, like. It's important. I got to get these numbers up. We're on a bunch of different other platforms too, LinkedIn. But my main focus is YouTube and Facebook, because those are the biggest crowds. But YouTube gives me a hard time. They ban me. They shadow ban me. They hold me down. So please just make the effort. Plus, if you want to watch the show live and you want to comment live, such as Paul and Steve B commented first thing right out the gate, you need to be on one of these two platforms. I'm narrowing it down for the live shows. The live shows, if you want to be able to comment live so I can see your comments, you need to either be on YouTube at the official Peter G Show page on YouTube, and or Facebook, the official Peter G Show Facebook page. I am no longer doing the live shows on the other couple of pages I have on Facebook. Now, the shows will transfer over when the show is over, but you won't be able to see it live. So please, just go to the official Facebook page, hit the like button. It'll notify you when I'm on. I'm pretty sure it does, as it does on YouTube, as I'm pretty sure it does. But please do that. Also, don't forget, for those of you who are busy, put an earbud in your ear, go to Google Peter G Show Podcast. You can take the audio version. All these shows, once they're over live, get transferred over into the audio podcast, 26 different audio podcasts, and it goes over onto that, and you can get it on demand. I mean, you're talking Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcast, the whole deal. What's going on here? Michael, I think you've tuned in before. Michael says, get a Rumble account. I do have a Rumble account. It just doesn't go live there. But the show gets uploaded within hours at the show is over. So you're in luck. I'm going to look into going live there, but it's just it's politics. It's politics. I like Rumble. I can't get arrested too much on it, but it's growing slowly but surely. But I do have a Rumble account. But here's my point. The reason I'm sticking with Facebook's and YouTube's is because, like, I'm the underdog. All the big people on Rumble and all the big people on BitChute I do really well on too. But on X, everybody's really like-minded and everybody's on the same page, and and I get that. I'm trying to reach, call me stupid, but I'm hanging in there trying to reach the unreachable. The people who are sitting on the fence, the people who they're not here nor there. Now, some people, no matter what I say to them, they're going to tell me to F off, and that's fine. But there's a lot of people on YouTube and Facebook that like just are floating through life and don't have a clue. And when I'm bringing these current event / politic things into their life, if they happen to tune in, I'm hoping that they'll at least watch some of the things that I bring to the forefront. Because again, I'm not telling you to believe me. I try to bring on content showing you what's going on. Whether you choose to believe it or not, that's up to you. Because a lot of people just don't do anything. They just take what they see on CNN and MSNBC, DNC, and they just go, well, it's got to be true. It's on the news. And we all know how that's going. All right. I recently had somebody that's close to me in my personal life. I mean, not close to me, but an old acquaintance happened to see a post of mine defending Doge and Elon Musk for trying to get into the nitty gritty to help sort these things out with the waste and fraud spending. And this person commented, I see you're drinking the Kool-Aid. And it's like, well, depends who you ask. And unless you come on this show and try to explain it to me, that's all most people do. They just, say something snide. And but they're more than welcome. Anybody's welcome to call into this show when I turn the phones on, or I'll bring you on as a guest if you want to explain it to me. But I normally don't get the people that call me names. They've got nothing to defend it with. They just post rehashed gaslighting memes. Again, I'm open ears. I'm willing to listen to your side if you can defend it. I just don't think you can, or you would be. But I'm open to it. So that's why I really try to stay on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn and things like that. Now, Rumble, again, most people on Rumble are all on the same page. So I'm preaching to the choir, so to speak. So I'm kind of like the underdog. I'm the guy who's trying to be the lukewarm water between the fire and ice, although I'm still catching hell because I am more of the fire. But I'm just trying to make a point because sometimes I just realized that, had I not only woken up about 10 years ago, I would have been the same thing. But it was brought to me little by little, and I finally caught on. And I believe that I can bring a few people around. I'm not asking them to believe everything I believe, but the truth and common sense is the truth and common sense. So that's what I got to say about that. But either way, please Google if you want to listen to the show on audio podcast because you're driving in the car, you're at work, you're exercising. A lot of people listen to podcasts. Podcasts are very popular, the audio version. So please go to Google Peter G Show podcast and pick one of the platforms and listen to the show on audio. Real quick, couple of things. I want to thank everybody. This past weekend was my birthday. They're coming quicker and quicker, but I am grateful. It was my birthday, and as these past few years since doing this show, it's more than just my inner circle of people wishing me happy birthday. It's a lot of people all over on Facebooks and things like that, because it comes up kind of, with your birth date and all that. And just as the Peter G Show wishes everybody on Facebook, if your birth date is on the Facebook page, on your information page, this show wishes everybody a happy birthday every single day, and it's been going on for years. So a lot of people were kind enough to return the favor and take a minute out of their life, and thank you. I'll put that up there. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it, man. Like I said, life's got to make the best of it, and I do. I'm truly grateful to be here. Doesn't have to be that way. As we get older, we're losing, at least I'm losing a lot of friends, some way too soon, way before they should have. And ever since the old Jabberini, I'm afraid that there's going to be a lot more through time going quicker than what they should. But I digress. So a lot of people were chiming in. And I try to make it a point to personally thank each and every person on Facebook that wishes me a happy birthday. And if I missed anybody, I'm sorry, because a lot of them come in later because somebody might see that, that it was my birthday 4 days later. And I'm still trying to catch them. But I've spent the past 3-4 days typing and personally thanking each and every person if I can find them, because I usually can, but a few slip through the cracks. But I do truly appreciate it. I realize it's like, you don't have to do that, but I thank you for doing it. I do. because personally, I love life. I don't, even if I get pissed off at something, it's temporary. I mean, life is short. I'm appreciative of everything that I've gone through, almost everything. It's a couple things I'm not too happy with, but divorce and single parent, but it made me who I am today. It did. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for some of the ass aches, and it's just part of the journey, I guess. So I try to tell people, it's like, if you're still here, regardless of how your life is going, you may think that, you're homeless or you're losing things, and I get it, but you're still here. You're not down for the count yet. So keep the faith and try to take care of yourself too. Try to. Okay, Paul, for you. So here's to thank you for everybody for the birthday wishes. And again, if I miss somebody, I am truly sorry. I didn't mean it. It's just there's a lot, and I've gone over it, but things happen. Salute. Ooh. Smooth. Yeah. Don't light a match. Okay. Also, one more thing. I did get an email this week. We got to get going. We've got to get Jeff on here. I did get an email this week. I got an email from, where is it? I got an email from Elon Musk. Yeah. He wanted to know what I've been doing this past week, and if I could write, down 5 things that I did this past week for my job here at the Peter G Show, so I can validate that I'm actually here doing my job. And okay, I didn't see really nothing wrong with that. I get it. I want to keep my job. I like my job. I think I got a good job. What do you think? Enough about me. What about you? What do you think about me? So I sat down. Took me all of 2-3 minutes. I mean, I do so many things during the week, and I told him what I've done for the past. I gave him 5 things that I did this week. Producing segments, or booking, or I wear a lot of hats on this show. I dream of the day I can relinquish some of these rights, but right now I'm a busy son of a gun. And so I sent it off. And I said, this is what I've done. I love my job. I think it's very necessary that I'm here. I said, believe it or not, there are people that watch me. And he sent back an email. Cool. Thanks. Why make a big stink over it? If you're doing something that's valid, just do it. It's that simple. Just do it. I do every day. I just do it. All right. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to take, is that what we're going to do? Yeah. We're going to take a quick commercial break because I want to hear from my good friends over at Clean Star Products with their money-saving fuel additive DX1 driver. Because let's face it, folks, it makes sense to save money. And we'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Tyrone Thompson of CleanStarProducts.com. This is DX1 Driver in the news, and here's what our friends have to say.
So I'm here to recap on the DX1 I've used. I put it in the oil and I put it in the gas. While I'm using it just for about 3 tanks. Cleaned everything out. I got every ounce of power back in my truck.
When Jared's truck was new, it had a lot of power. Then over time, it began to slow down. He got it all back with our DX1 Driver program.
Something you got to see for yourself. It's a great product. It's affordable. And it blows all the other additives and esters out of the water.
DX1 Driver is the finest oil in the world from a California environmental company. It goes into the fuel system and the oil. It's the only green grade product qualified for the carbon credits program, giving you better fuel mileage, lower emissions, and increased horsepower. So join the fuel savings revolution today. Go to CleanStarProducts.com/shop.
That's right, folks. CleanStarProducts.com. All I can tell you is 2 things. It works. I'll repeat myself. It works. It really does. I wouldn't have believed it, but I've used it myself. I said I wasn't going to talk about something if I didn't know it didn't work, because why would I? I don't have to. But I was surprisingly amazed because, let's face it, I go to the store, I see a million, products on the shelf. And every product says, yeah, it's really good. But you never really know. And I use it, again, I noticed the difference within about 3 tankfuls. I mean, you take this little bitty bottle, you put it in a fresh oil change. This bottle is the size for a 4-door sedan. If you have a SUV or a pickup truck or anything larger size vehicle like I do, this bottle's a little bit bigger. You can see the difference right here. But that's it. Put one of these bottles in a clean oil change. Last the whole oil change. And every time you fuel up your car, you put one of these little bottles in the fuel. Mix it with a full tank. Notice the difference within about 3 or 4 tanks. I did. I have a heavy vehicle, and I realized that I'm not having to step on the pedal as much. It was more responsive. It cleans out all the gunk. It's a higher mileage vehicle. It gives it more lubricity. It's like, let's face it, when you're getting older, you need to have good food, good body. Makes sense. But don't believe me. I'm telling you, this is where it's at. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to www.cleanstar products, and they have a phone number. And I'm looking for it right now. Where the hell did I do with it? Oh, there it is. Call them. Call them. Ty Thompson might pick up the phone himself. You'll have questions. He'll answer all your questions. He has a product that he's proud of. And they believe in their product because it works. After you get through talking to him, should you decide to order, please mention that you saw it on the Peter G Show. Why, you ask? Good question. Because when you say you saw it on the Peter G Show, Ty is going to send you 5 bottles for the price of 4. Yeah, 5 for the price of 4. A deal's a deal. This is the perfect starter kit. This will make a believer out of you. You put one in a clean oil change, it'll last the whole oil change, whether that's 5,000 miles or 10,000 miles, depending on what kind of car you drive. If you drive a Mercedes, it's 10,000 miles. You drive an American car, it's 5,000 miles. All right? And then every time you fill up your tank, you put one of these little bottles in there, you're going to see the difference. You're going to feel the difference. You're going to get a little bit more better gas mileage. I noticed it all. But again, call that number, talk to them. Don't listen to me. Try it. You'll like it. 5 bottles for the price of 4. Call that number. Go to that website, www.cleanstarproducts.com. All right? They got a product that works. They believe in it. They're proud of it. And so am I. Just make sure you mention it that you saw it on the Peter G Show. All right? Okay. Timeout. One more timeout. All that advertisements making me thirsty. All right. I said this a few minutes ago that we are going to have my old friend Jeff on the phone to talk about men's health, mental health, all the above. And I meant it. So without further ado, let me see if he's hanging in the wings here. Jeff, you on the line?
I'm here, Peter G.
All right. Well, here we are. You are live, and I want to thank you for giving me this time to talk about this because I think it's really important. So thank you.
Oh, thanks for inviting me.
No, it's cool. And again, don't be nervous. There's only 3 million of my closest friends. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So earlier on, I don't know if you were listening in the wings or not, but early on, I just told people that a real quick thing about how we met when I was probably 16 and that we played together and I played with you in the very first band that I ever made my first dollar with.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
We're really young and we had a blast and it was a lot of craziness too.
There was a lot of craziness. So there was because now I don't remember what year I didn't see you. I think I saw you from probably 1977 to maybe 1979 or 80. And then I don't know, you disappeared, I think, right?
Yeah. In either 80 or 81, I ended up moving to Virginia.
Okay.
So
I haven't seen you since then. And then through Facebook, I happened to see a post. Maybe did we re-meet again in like 2013 or 14?
Yeah, it was around there. Yeah.
So unbeknownst to me, 2,000 miles away from where we originally started, you're living 25, 30 miles away from me here in Southern California.
Right.
And we got together and we started talking, and then we've even done a little bit of playing together for old time's sake over these past few years. However, even then, I noticed I'm going, wow, Jeff has calmed down quite a bit because back in the day, you and Mike Liff and all these crazy people. I mean, you guys were pretty off the hook. I mean, I was tame compared to you.
You were the youngest and the sanest of us.
Yeah, maybe I was. But we all had a great time. But the thing was, when I re-met you again, you've calmed down like tremendously. Like you're real soft spoken, and you know, and it's like humbled or something. But you know, we all change. We grow with age, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because you would have been in
Time
jail.
does that.
Yeah, because you would have been in jail.
Absolutely, that's the path I was headed for.
Yeah, okay. Because it was I don't think you were like a bad guy. It was just stupid shit guy, you know?
Yeah. I like to do anything for a laugh.
Yeah. It was just, you know, and like I said, a lot of memories, you know, we had a great time, but you know, thank God we grew out of it a little bit. But it was part of the shaping up, and we did a lot of good things. I mean, I don't knock it one bit. I mean, it was part of our past, and I'm proud of it. But so through these years, I'm still seeing you. We're getting together and playing every once in a while, but still, all I see is quiet Jeff. Man, Jeff has really gotten quiet. No big deal. We play music. It's been great up until about a month and a half or 2 months ago when you called me one Friday night or whatever night it was, and I happened to pick up the phone, and we had a 2-3 hour conversation, correct?
Yeah, it was a good one.
It was a good one because I learned a few things. Well, actually, I learned something I didn't have a clue about. And unbeknownst to me again, I don't know whether that night you were having a few little issues, because I do remember you saying something about you feel better now that we, you know, because after having to listen to me, I guess you can feel better about anything. But I didn't know that you suffered from depression.
Yeah, it's been with me my whole life, just in and out. It ebbs and flows, and sometimes it's really intense, and sometimes it's livable. You know,
You say
it's always there.
So you're telling me when we were 17 or 16 or whatever the hell we were back then, you had it then too?
It wasn't nearly as focused back then. I knew something was weird, but it manifested in just being a dumb young man and not knowing what to do with his life and being very ungrounded. But later, the depressive symptoms started showing up. It just got harder to do things, harder to stay motivated. Yeah.
Wow.
It's
I wouldn't have never known it. I didn't know it. I didn't, even through all these years when we, you know, get together and play a little bit. I didn't see it because I'm only there for a little bit. And you know, I agree with you. You said that you know, we were just there playing music, and that was fun. I mean,
yeah, music's a great outlet, and it's so healing for me. You know, it's to have that creative outlet and enjoy other musicians, you know, all create music together. It's just a blast. It's
okay,
so much fun.
But the thing is, from what I gathered, I mean, when I re-met you, you became an engineer, correct, and had a working life.
Yeah. I mean, after I left Florida in the 80s, I went to university and got an engineering degree and started working in the industry in 87, I think. And I've worked for several companies. Got to do some fun projects. It's been an interesting career. But about 2 years ago, I'd been really stressed out, and I woke up one morning and I just couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't do anything. It was like I was paralyzed. Yeah.
How long ago?
About 2 years ago.
Okay, so recent.
Mm-hmm. That's it. It really came to a point then, and it got so bad I had to quit my job. I couldn't work, couldn't concentrate. Yeah, just had no motivation to do anything in life. Didn't want to play guitar, didn't want to surf. Just really didn't want to be here, is the bottom line.
That's pretty deep. I mean, you get into your own head, and you're getting all these weird thoughts uncontrollably, and you can't talk yourself out of it.
Yeah, it's like they arise from deep inside and tell you you're a piece of crap and you shouldn't be here. And none of the things you've done in your life really matter. So just get it over with.
Wow. And only see, because I mean, so it was never at this level to where you didn't want to get out of bed up until only a couple of years ago.
I've had other incidents. I've had 2 serious suicide attempts back in 2002. But after that, I was fairly normal and continued to work and interact with people. But yeah, 2 years ago, it just hit me like a ton of bricks, and I couldn't do anything.
Wow. Hang on a second, Jeff. I'm getting a text that thinking I think you got booted off of YouTube. I can't see why they'd ban me for talking about this, but then again, I don't trust anything. If anybody's on YouTube watching, please comment, say that you're still there, because I can't tell right now. I just had somebody who switched over from YouTube to Facebook, but they're telling me I got booted off of YouTube. That'll be a first. It's been a while. But okay, let's go. It doesn't matter. I mean, believe me, I'll work it out. But I'm just the live thing. I like the people that are watching live. Okay, so but you get into your own head, and again, this thing just comes out of nowhere. It just happens when you wake up, or it doesn't matter whether it's daytime, nighttime. When it hits, it hits.
Yeah, it's usually worse at night or early mornings. And I've got exercises that I do that help, but like I meditate and I just try to be mindful and pay attention to what's going on with my body and my head as well as I can. But 2 years ago, it just, like I said, it was overwhelming, and it stopped me from doing everything.
Really? I mean, so I'm getting confirmations. Yeah, they shut you down off of YouTube. Son of a bitch.
Oh, that sucks.
It does, because I think I used the word suicide or something. Who knows? I don't know. This is stupid. But I'll rework it. I'll throw it up there one way or another. I'm sorry if I lost anybody. I hope they switch over. But this is what I'm dealing with. I mean, I'll be glad when the Orange Man can reverse the Smith-Mund Act and we can get into free speech again. Hang on. I just inhaled. I think they're taking me out. So let me go. Sorry. I got all excited. Let me tell you. So when you're having these episodes, you're aware you're having these episodes in your head, and you're thinking to try to talk yourself out of it. Are you aware of that, or it's that overwhelming that you just, whatever's happening is happening?
Yeah, I do have conversations with myself, I guess, sometimes. As weird as that sounds, but it's usually just like this horrible feeling of heaviness, that nothing is interesting or fun. It's hard to get motivated to do anything. Even food doesn't sound good. Nothing that I would normally enjoy is fun anymore. And the urge just not to be here becomes stronger and stronger. And when it gets really bad, I just have to concentrate on my kids, my grandkids, because they're still here, and I don't want to hurt them.
Well, I get it, but I was saying, well, I haven't said it yet, but I've known quite a few people that they're no longer here because that urge overwhelmed them, and they just went somewhere and off themselves, where I know that if they could have taken it back, in a better frame of mind, there'd been no reason for it, because there was no reason for it.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I mean, our good friend Mike Liff, he took his own life.
I know he did, but I think he did it because
he had circumstances.
Yeah, he had circumstances, and he just, he was crazy as it was anyway. And I don't understand that, but I mean, I remember, anyway, I don't think that was the same thing. But I've met a lot of women that are widowed that I said, yeah, you're widowed. What happened? And it's just suicide. And it's like, it's not normal. And the thing is, that's pretty deep, where you get that deep to, you don't want to exist anymore. I mean, hell, I have tons of bad days. I mean, welcome to my life. And when it comes to talking to yourself, there's no shame in that. I understand why the homeless people, when you're walking down the street, they're talking to themselves. I mean, I talk out loud all the time. I just do. I'm thinking out loud. And there's nothing wrong with that, but to get in that frame of mind and to to get into that dark to where, you can't talk, you can't get out of it. That's heavy.
It's not a fun place to be, that's for sure.
And then, so have you, I know you have, but I mean, you've sought out help for this because a lot of people won't.
Yeah. I've been in regular weekly therapy since 2012. And my therapist has definitely saved my life more than once. Just having somebody to talk to has been, and it was an ordeal to find the right person because I've had tons of therapists over the years, but finding the right one that you can really communicate with was a difficult task. And there's lots of good therapists out there, but I just happen to run into some not the best.
No, that's true. Good mechanic, bad mechanic. I mean, same thing.
Yeah.
Good doctor, bad
same
doctor.
thing.
You need to choose wisely. I mean, and sometimes you got to go through a bunch to find the right one.
So I do that, and I've seen psychiatrists and tried, I don't know how many different antidepressant medicines, mostly SSRI type, serotonin reuptake inhibitors, but they help a little, but the side effects are awful, and I just had to give up on them.
Medication is an experiment. Everybody's different. What might work for someone may not work for another person, and may even make you worse. The thing I have is just even today, I was on the phone with a friend, and I was telling him that what I'm doing tonight, that I'm going to have you on the show. And a lot of people don't understand it. They're thinking when you say depression, like you're just mad at your spouse or something like that, and that makes you bummed out. But that's not how it works, right?
Well, it's not how it works for me.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
Certainly when you get in a fight, it's more unpleasant than you would normally be. But it's just a general feeling that has nothing to do, or very little to do, with your outside environment. It's coming from the inside.
Yeah. It's false, codes going off in your head. Paranoid. Do you get paranoid too when you're doing that, or is it just?
I get anxious sometimes, but not really paranoid. More uncomfortable in crowds and stuff. But I don't typically get paranoid. Thank goodness.
Gotcha.
That's one problem I don't really have.
I mean, but the thing is, again, when these things start going in your head, you just start getting all this false sensibility about the reality of what's going on. There's nothing going on, but you're making something go on in the negative fashion, and creating your own demise, so to speak.
Pretty much, yeah. I've been trying to learn about consciousness lately, and at least from the readings I've been interested in. This neuroscientist, Anil Seth, is one of my favorites, and he likes to describe consciousness as a controlled hallucination. It's just basically the brain's model of reality that's predicted for us, and it's usually pretty good, but it's always a little off because we can only take in so much of. Our senses can take in so much, and we get things wrong. And I think in depression, it's just a case of, at least partially, of these thinking patterns that I've just adopted over the years. That can get uncontrollably negative, and then I just fall down this path. It's like being sucked into a black hole that you can't get out of.
How long?
It seems like that.
How long are your bouts on an average, or is there?
Yeah, I mean, lately they usually only last 10 to 12 hours or something. If I can get through that, I'm generally okay.
But are you you're aware of that though? I mean, the thing is self-awareness. I mean, a lot of people, I think that do, go into that where they do take themselves and off themselves, so to speak, or whatever. They can't overcome the thought that they know that they shouldn't be in that mode.
Yeah. I mean, the mind does weird stuff,
It's strong.
especially when it'll create very real scenarios for you that have nothing to do with reality. So,
What do you think about?
What do I think about?
Yeah, the scenarios that it creates, they put you in such a downward spiral. I mean, do you remember them, or is it a reoccurring the same shit over and over? What is it?
It's just tons of guilt, mostly just old relationships. I feel like I was a terrible father. I've never lived close to my kids. They've lived with me, some of them on and off, but I don't know. I just feel.
Do your kids talk to you?
Oh yeah. Well, 4 out of 6. I got 3 biological kids and 3 stepkids. And
all right, let me. So, which ones talk to you? The biological or the stepkids?
2 biological and 2 stepkids talk to me, and
Quite a combination.
And one biological does not, and one stepkid does not. So
let me tell you, parenthood is a bitch. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And when you because I'm guilty of through divorce. I mean, my not biological half stepchildren. I mean, they could it's not like we have any relationship anymore. There's blood was thicker than water, and that's just the way it goes. But I mean, it's not easy being a parent either. I mean, unless you're abusing them or something like that. I mean, and they have minds of their own too. I mean, I see it on Facebook. I got close friends on Facebook that they love their children, but their children, whatever the reason, they're not talking, and you go through that shit.
It's sad that that's pretty common as well. Just parents and children not talking to each other. But yeah, it's hard. I mean, I wish I could have been there for them more. And I'm just terrible with relationships. I've been married and divorced 3 times.
Well, 3 times is a charm, Jeff.
You think?
Look, okay, let me tell you something. I've met a bunch. This is how this whole show started, with divorce and single parenting and all that kind of. And I've learned a lot by meeting a lot of people. And I've met people that were married 3 or 4 times, and on the 3rd or 4th time, they're married 25 years and more, and happier than they've ever been. It's just hitting that. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes it takes that. I looked at them going, because after going through mine was just the worst. But I can see that if you do it once or twice, you're better at it than the first time around. It's always like gut wrenching. I'm not saying to be proud of that, but you learn something from it, and if that's what it takes, and you're willing to step out there. Because I looked at some of them, I'm going, I don't know if I could do it after the second time, after going through what I went through. But then again, you don't do that the repetition of the same ass ache over and over again.
Yeah, it's always different.
Yeah, unless you're codependent and you just grab onto someone the minute you're out of a relationship, that shit never works. But I don't know.
Yeah, I can't tell you where it comes from. I mean,
okay. It's okay. It's not. Look,
my childhood was a little weird.
Well, take a number, dude. Everybody, there's no perfect. There's no.
I know. I know. It's just the way I dealt with it.
Okay.
Wasn't the healthiest.
Okay, I get that, and I'm telling you, especially when I moved to the South. I mean, I'd never seen, because we moved to the Gulf Coast when I was 15 years old, and I came from Connecticut, and I was a damn
That's
Yankee.
A big change.
Yeah, it sure was. They all made fun of me, and I never met so many stepdaddies, everybody was step this and step that. I'm like, it was like, wow. 15 years old, the girls were sneaking out the windows where their dad was nailing the windows shut, on their bedroom, it was just a whole different world. It wasn't like that in Connecticut when I was growing up. I mean, it just wasn't. A whole different culture. So, every place is different, and everything is different, and whose daddy's drinking, and I mean, it was just like really, really different. But it is what it is, and people survive. Some don't, but most do. And again, you just kind of blew me out of the water with this. I mean, when I hung up the phone with you after, we had a pretty long conversation a couple of months ago, or whenever it was.
Yeah, it was good. It was helpful for me anyway.
Well, I realized that, but I didn't realize what I was doing. We were just talking, and
Just talking.
until you opened up and told me, I would have still never have known. And this is when I started thinking about this. I go, because I know that there's so many people that go through this kind of stuff that need somebody to talk to. And what did I tell you when we hung up the phone? I mean, to call me anytime.
Yeah, call you anytime.
Because I'm not a mind reader, but I rather you call me at 3:00 in the morning than getting the news that, did you hear about Jeff?
Yeah.
And it happens all the time.
It's just when you're in the middle of it, the phone weighs 1,000 pounds.
I get that. It takes a lot of special effort to drive it into your head. Like, okay, and not like, no, I don't want to call him. I'm not going to bother him. It's like I said, bother me. But I realize that it's easier said than done when you're in the moment.
Yeah.
When you called me a couple of months ago, were you in the moment? And because you called me out of the blue.
I was in a pretty bad place. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's one. I mean, that's one good step. I mean, better than, you got you out of it, I guess. I mean, I got,
yeah, for sure.
I got tons of stupid shit I can tell you about, it's a bottomless pit. Bottomless pit. We can talk about the old times, the old neighborhoods, whatever. And because there's a lot of stupidity there, good things, nothing bad, but a lot of stuff to snicker at. But I didn't have a clue. And that's when I said, okay, maybe, if you're willing, I would like to share this. And some people will and some people won't. But I said you'd be doing a good deed, I think, down the road, even though YouTube just popped me off their channel and I'll have to deal with that. But there's plenty of people on other platforms that'll be listening to this. And if I can reload it and reword it, maybe I'll get to sneak it on. We'll see. But okay, so you started talking to me that you've been trying to get help and there's all this kind of help. And first you were telling me about like electroshock therapy, like from the old days. My mother had an aunt. I'm telling you, I was a little boy that she was having mental illness, good woman, but she'd go into that thing to where she was out of her mind for weeks, or it felt like months, and she'd have to go into a mental institution. And I remember as a little kid that they were doing electroshock therapy, like the old ways, like strapping a thing to your friggin' head and just, zapping the shit out of you. You're telling me there's modern methods of that now?
Well, actually, they still do the old way for extreme cases. And my mom went through that too. She was several sessions of electroshock therapy. But now there's a newer, more gentle method called TMS. It stands for transcranial magnetic stimulation, stimulation. Transcranial magnetic stimulation. They put this very precise electromagnet near your skull, and they're able to generate electric fields inside your brain, and it's kind of like a reboot. They target certain areas that depressed people don't have as much activity in as a normal person, and they're getting pretty good results. It's a long process though. You have to do like 36 treatments, and it just takes time.
How long? Every week, every day? What?
Yeah, you do it 5 times a week, and it's about an hour treatment, counting they make you rest and stuff. The actual magnetic electrical pulses are 10 to 20 minutes, I think, or something like that.
It's not like a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest,
No, it's not like that.
Okay.
But anyway, I tried to get in that. I've been trying to get in that program for UCLA Medical has a really good TMS system, and my insurance denied me coverage, so I'm kind of stuck.
Okay.
with that path anyway.
But you just recently told me, you said, well, which is, I've heard a lot about this with people with PSTD and all that kind of stuff. And, or is it PSTD or PTSD? No, PSTD. You just recently did mushrooms, or what do you want to call that?
Yeah. I did they call it a heroic or a therapeutic dose of psilocybin mushrooms, where you take a large dose and you wear an eye mask because you just want to go internal. And then I wear headphones, and I've got a playlist. This is something that's studied. It's called psychedelic assisted therapy.
Where'd you do it at?
I did it on my own, and I do not recommend it. But
all right.
There are places you can go to. Oregon has some, and I think Colorado. It's weird because of the laws. It's psilocybin's still illegal.
Yeah.
It's decriminalized a few places, but it's still illegal.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, yeah, I took a big dose, and it's awesome. You completely lose sense of self. I didn't know I was a body.
Wait. How did you know how much to do? Where'd you get it? And can you get me some?
There are ways to get it.
You know a guy who knows a guy?
Especially in California. Anyway,
yeah,
I don't want to
okay, but
too much.
Okay, but how did you know how much to do? I mean, because back in the day when you and I were playing, I remember there was this guy named Rick that was a friend of Mike Lifts, and we went and we used to pick mushrooms from the cow pastures at the 4-H club. Yeah,
we sure did.
Yeah, I remember we did it. They said we had a good time. I don't remember, but whatever. Still here.
Yeah, this isn't really for fun. This is like for self.
I know, but the thing is, when you're doing it, you were by yourself when you did this.
Yeah, and I've taken it several times, and I'm a pretty accustomed user. I know what's going to happen for the most part. You never really know with mushrooms, but I'm prepared. I get it. It's all about set and setting. You have to be in a safe place.
Good luck.
And no, seriously, or else you can have a really messed up experience.
I get it, but how do you define a safe place if you're tripping and no place is safe? If you're melting.
It's not like that.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. How do you know how much to do, and for what you're getting?
Well, there's some variability in there because mushrooms are different strains or different potencies, and you kind of have to experiment a little bit.
Yeah, Cheech and Chong's like, wow, man, I hadn't seen anybody eat that much in a long time. Yeah.
So typically anything much over 5 grams is considered a big dose, and it depends on your body chemistry and your physical size and a lot of factors. It's not something that you should take lightly. This is a very serious, powerful hallucinogenic drug, and you should be careful. But if done right, I mean, I had a wonderful experience. And what I was going to say is I have an eye mask on, so I can't see, and I have headphones on. And it's a playlist from Johns Hopkins Medical Center where they're doing their psilocybin research. And then I add some classical music, and then I finish up with Beatles. So I've got about a 4-hour playlist.
How do you know how long it's going to last?
The heavy part usually lasts 3 or 4 hours.
And you just sit there the whole time?
I lay in bed, and you're usually another side effect of the psilocybin is it makes me really cold. So I'm under blankets as well.
But what makes you not want to get up or pull the mask off your eyes, or you're like, go look in the mirror and watch yourself like freak out or something? What makes you know what I mean?
Because I'm intentionally trying to go inside.
Okay.
I'm trying to pay attention to what's going on as much as you can.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, how much control do you have?
You don't have very much. And like I said, I completely lost sense of self. I didn't know I was a person. I didn't know I had a body.
How about, are you laughing to yourself?
It's fun. I mean, I smiled a lot, and I would also be crying, and I would touch my face and it would be wet. I didn't realize I was crying.
Hear that, or you peed on yourself.
Well, on my face, that'd be
Yeah, who knows?
pretty good shot.
Might have been like a fountain, you know. I mean, I remember we'd be sitting next to each other, and somebody would just go, "Ah!" You know, they'd put their hands on it and just stop it, quit it. You're freaking me out.
Well, see, that's part of the set and setting. You can't have people trying to irritate you.
Okay, then don't call me over. Then don't. Wow.
It's it's a different kind of. It's not just for fun.
Yeah.
You know, just not recreational use. So.
Says you. When you finally, like, everything's like back to normal and all that, I mean, what do you think you're gaining from that? I mean, other than while you're in the moment, what is it doing for your, like, after that?
Well, for me, it's really fun watching my consciousness kind of dissolve and change into something completely alien. It's like, and the feeling that you get while you're on the psilocybin is very pleasant, and some of that carries over after you're sober again, and you see things a little differently. Like colors might be a little brighter. My mood's definitely improved. Definitely not as depressed as I was prior to taking it. It just helps me to be more mindful of what's going on. My personal problem, I think, is just reacting too much without paying attention to my mental state, my state of my body, what's going on around me.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of just rolled through life, just trying to get through as best I could without a lot of reflection. And I think it's just caught up with me.
What do you think? I mean, what are the odds? I mean, doing that and going down a bad road? Because, people have had like so-called bad trips and all that.
That does happen. I've had some strange experiences. I wouldn't call it a bad trip, maybe a bad portion of a trip, but it's really it's a very, very safe drug. There's no known overdose quantity. You might just kind of lose sense of reality for a while, but you come back. I mean, it's much safer to do it with you're supposed to have a trip sitter with you at all times, but I'm kind of on my own. So.
Well, that's my point. What's a trip setter? Is that somebody just there watching you?
Yeah, and it should be a medical person, but yeah,
anybody,
or a friend.
Yeah, there you go.
Just somebody to be in the room.
You're saying
you're
saying it's a safe drug. You can't OD from it, but we all know that the old joke is, people jumping off of buildings thinking that they can fly. I mean, it's just
that is pretty unfounded, and the origin of a lot of those stories came from government programs where they would give large quantities of LSD to alcoholics and mental patients and strap them down and not tell them what was going on.
Uh-huh.
And, they're probably not going to have the best experience if you do that.
Right.
Yeah, but it's compared to alcohol and nicotine and heroin and methamphetamine.
I get that, but hey,
it's one of the safest drugs.
There's a lot of these like encapsulated, like what do they call that, microdosing type stuff.
Well, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I started doing that to try and keep the effects of the big dose, because you can't do the big dose very often.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe a few times a year or something.
It tweaks you out too much. Yeah.
It's just intense, and you don't have any desire. At least I don't have any desire to do it again soon, because it's a lot. I mean, it took me a couple of days to recover from it too.
You get the heebie-jeebies after that, or is it
no, you're just kind of tired.
Oh.
No heebie-jeebies or weirdness.
So the microdosing. I mean, I know people, or I've heard people that just it just ups their step and things like that as needed. Is that something you've tried yet, or you're considering it?
Well, I have tried it in the past, but I wasn't real consistent about it. Mm-hmm. And this Monday, I found a protocol that I like, and I'm I made my own capsules with 1/10 of a gram dose, so it's like nothing. You don't feel it at all, but it's enough to get in your system and help keep the effects going.
Uh-huh.
And I mix it with niacin and lion's mane.
How do you do that? You're a pharmacist now.
You can yeah, you can buy it in powdered form.
Uh-huh. And how do you know what you're mixing?
There's stuff online where they give you the ratios.
There you go. Hey, make me some. No, I didn't hear that here. Do you hear that? Who said that? I just always was curious because I know a few people that like they'll do that and it just kind of keeps not high, so to speak, but you're just
no, you don't get high at all.
Put you a little pep in your step or something.
Yeah,
I don't really know how to explain it because I've never done it, but I was curious about it because I'm going, what does it do? I don't want to be doing acid. I mean, so to speak, it's like, did it, got the t-shirt, and then I'm just happy to be right now. But yeah, sometimes the little bit of a push, I'm going, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm asking the question. It's like, and you'll do it daily or when you just feel that feeling coming on?
So the protocol I'm doing is 4 days on, 3 days off. So you do it 4 times a week, take a break, because there's a tolerance buildup problem with psilocybin, so you need to give your body some time.
Why would you do it every day if you don't need it? Is I guess what I'm asking. It's like if I have a headache, I'll take aspirin. If I feel that need coming on and just something, just work my way out of it. Don't know?
Well, the main reason I'm taking it is for the depression, and the depression is chronic.
It's every day?
It varies in strength, but yeah, it's every day. So I'm just trying to improve my baseline.
So you don't have any days that like you're going, God, why can't I feel like this every day?
Sure, I have good days sometimes. I definitely do.
But what would you say the average? I mean,
average is pretty crappy right now.
Oh, great. Something I said?
No, man.
Wow. Yeah, I see. This is the thing. And a lot of people don't understand this. And they don't even know what one person's going through. That's why it's like you never know what's going on in somebody's life. And that's why I wanted to talk about this because, you're just not out there holding a sign going, I am friggin' feeling like shit today. Besides like aches and pains, like, normal aging or anything like that. You're mentally having these inner thoughts. Meanwhile, you're sitting there looking at somebody and not, even giving a clue.
Well, yeah. I guess that's the way it is.
I mean, I wouldn't, again, the times when we'd get together, we'd be together for hours and you just, well, we didn't do a whole lot of talking. I mean, some laughing we did, but, it was just, we were just playing and screwing around. So I didn't have a clue. I would have never figured. I thought you were just, just grew up, so to speak, as opposed to me.
Well,
don't let this tie fool you.
It's like I said, music's a great therapy for it.
I mean, well, how about when you're at home? I mean, do you think it's more when you're home alone, or does it happen even when you're surrounded? Like, you have a girlfriend, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Does it just even come on while she's around, or does it mostly when you think too much?
It's just random. It's mostly late at night or early in the morning.
Wow. I wonder how does that work?
I don't know.
In the afternoons, lighten up.
Well, staying busy helps. Okay. So I just try to, I've got the silly dog. We got a puppy 9 months ago, and he's really energetic. So he gets me out a lot. And I'm trying to get myself together and join the workforce or rejoin the workforce again. So I've been studying, and I've got some little electronic projects that I fiddle around with, and just.
Well, staying busy is good. I mean, I'm probably going to get out there too. I've been working on being a Walmart greeter. I've been practicing that for quite. No,
You'd be great at it.
I would be. Hello, I've been practicing. Hola, welcome to Walmart. Would you like it? Would you like a buggy carriage? Hello, can I see your receipt? I think I'd be good with the receipt thing. I could probably just like. I got the yellow marker
on the spot.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, there's some good ones out there. We have one where I live, in the area where I live, and I'd have to take him. I'd have to do like a Nancy Kerrigan or something and take him out because he's He's really good. I mean, he's very, very polite. I don't think the elevator goes all the way up, but he's a good human being for what he is, and he's always pleasant, and he takes huge pride in what he does. And I got to give him that much. I always acknowledge him. I do. I always go out of my way to acknowledge him and say his name and ask him how he's doing, and because the world needs a little bit more of that. I mean, he may not be the brightest bulb in the bunch, but he definitely is not the angriest one, and he tries. So that's all.
Yeah, the world needs people like that.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So I'm thinking I might have to do that because times are hard, and and,
yes, they are.
Yeah, can you help a brother get a sandwich? Shit's gotten expensive, but I can only hope that we will all thrive in 2025. But so you've been doing all this, and so what's the plan for the future? I mean, just continue, and I mean, do you think that you can work your way out of this, or you're just trying to figure out how to live with this? Because this can go on for decades more. You're not that old.
I'm getting up there, but yeah, my plan is just to. I'm seeing some relief. I've kind of given up on the medical profession except for therapy. I'm going to continue my therapy as long as I can. But I'm done with antidepressants, and I don't think the TMS thing's going to happen. So I'm going to continue with the microdosing, continue with mindfulness. I started meditating again. I've had success with that in the past. It's not spiritual at all. It's just paying attention to yourself. And just trying to get myself back into life, because I've kind of been out of circulation for the last 2 years, and I'm feeling better. I have bad days, but I'm ready to rejoin life.
Right. Again, I had no clue. I mean, when you say meditating, to me, sometimes you're sitting there just thinking too much. Can that work the opposite, or how do you find your way to the bright side?
It's a long process. It is difficult just to sit there and pay attention to your breath. Yeah. It's unbelievably hard.
No, I know. I can't. I said I can't meditate. I can't. I get too distracted.
So you start small, like anything else. I started a few weeks ago. I started meditating again with 5 minutes, and now I'm up to 10 at a time. I do it twice a day. And my goal is to get up to about 45 minutes or something. But right now it's super hard. It's like these thoughts come up. I have no idea I'm thinking them. I completely forget I'm meditating.
That's what I mean. Meditate. I go, I'm going to meditate. It's like, grocery list.
That is completely normal. It happens to everybody.
Yeah. Start thinking about my past, the argument I had with so-and-so. And it's like, stop, you pay attention, You're supposed to be meditating. Do you do this at home, or do you go to the beach and sit, or what do you do?
No, I just do it at home.
Because you're kind of a beacher, right? You really got into surfing and things like that, and you're letting that go. Let it go. What's going on?
I just haven't been able to motivate myself to get in the water, and it used to bring me so much joy.
That's what I thought. I thought that would be like your happy spot besides music. Doing at least do that to get yourself out of the funk.
Yeah, it's a goal. I haven't been able to do it.
Easier said than done. I mean, walk in your shoes, and I guess we'd all understand.
Huh. Yeah, I live a half mile from the beach. I have no excuse. So. Well,
you do. I mean, you don't, but you do. Your head gets in the way.
Yeah, my head gets in the way.
Yeah, your fucking head gets in the way. I get it. I mean, I don't truly understand it because I haven't lived it, but I do understand it, even though I haven't lived it, if that makes any kind of sense. I mean, I guess, you'd say you wouldn't wish it on anybody.
Oh God, no. It's it's a terrible plague.
Yeah.
I'd rather have cancer or something.
Oh, no, I don't know, man. Pick your, it says you, but the person with cancer says, I'd rather live.
I'd rather be depressed. At least I'd be alive in 5 years.
Exactly, because you might have a chance of working your way out of it, as opposed to some of these cancers where they claim they can't fix you. But
it's just so frustrating because mental illness is not that well understood scientifically, and they've got a lot of a lot of room for improvement.
Right. I mean, again, you kind of blew me out of the water because I had no idea. If you would, I would have never figured. I go, Jeff's fucking retarded, and
You can't say that anymore.
I just did. I just did. I mean, I say it jokingly because I don't really mean it. So I don't. I'm tired of being politically correct. I really am. It's just so stupid. It's just we all need to laugh. That's what we're doing. We're laughing at ourselves. There's serious things about it, but we're not going to sit here and again, the pity party stuff and it's time to.
No, that's not useful.
No, it's not useful at all. And I mean, there's some gut wrenching things I do on this show at times. I mean, and even my own life. I mean, I think about things and it's hard, but the key is to keep moving forward. And when we forget how to laugh, I mean, laughing, is like, to me, some of the greatest cure or medication. And I don't think I do it nearly enough as much as I used to, because I'm kind of insulated nowadays. This show, it's just different. And I dream of the day that I get more people that we're screwing around, but yet so positive in our screwing around, and,
yeah,
but this is serious stuff. And I still try to make it pleasant, but it's serious stuff. There's a lot of people that aren't here to talk about it. And that's why I wanted you to talk about it if you were kind enough to do it. And you were. And I think that, like, not only for today, but it's the gift that keeps on giving. This show will roll on for the years to come. And it really blows my mind how many people will pick up this show once it's over on the live version. So that's an important thing. So you're doing a good job for not only yourself, but I don't know if if the show tonight talking about it's helping you at all. Might be worse, but
it's always helpful to talk about.
It's another F and Peter moment, but I have hopes that even again, you can watch this show and learn things. I told you our conversation today, I watch every single show I do because I'm always seeing what's going on with me, with the show, the flow, the words that come out of my mouth. So I'm good and I'm not so good. But the same thing, I think I've had so many people that have watched themselves and listened to themselves that don't get the opportunity to do that. And it's an education within itself. You kind of don't really hear yourself when you're in, unless just like music, when you're recording or something like that. Same thing,
Exactly the same thing.
Yeah. And we're over, and this isn't something you do every day. You're not on shows like this to be well conditioned. And, I had somebody that said to me, well, Peter, you're on it. You do it every week. Give me a break. And I go, I get it. I'm not telling you this. I'm just saying, watch yourself and learn from it, and so in your case, it'd be listen to yourself and maybe you'll pick something up, I hope. But I don't know. I still don't see it, but I feel you. That's all I can tell you, because it's not easy.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Peter.
All right. If there was anything from all the crap that you've been through for all these years, if there was anything that you could leave somebody who's going through this stuff that doesn't really understand it, like isn't as well, or even if they're well versed or whatever, is there anything that you would share from this, from everything, all the crap you've been through, not necessarily on my show?
I would say stay as flexible as possible and don't take life quite as seriously as you might want to sometimes, because everything's changing. It's flux is constantly happening. And it's best just to learn how to adapt.
But when you're in your own head, how do you do that?
When it gets really dark, my go-to is my grandkids. It's
thinking about them. You call them, or do you think about them?
No, I just think about them.
Okay.
Because it's usually late at night, and I don't want to bug them.
See.
But yeah, I mean, you have to have something to anchor you, or if it's not grandkids, it's your favorite meal, or your favorite activity, or your spouse, or something.
Do you think being alone is like your worst enemy at times?
I'm really introverted, so I'm comfortable being alone.
Okay, but that leaves you more time to do more thinking.
Yeah, it's probably not the healthiest thing, but it doesn't bother me.
Okay.
At least I don't think
Because
it does.
when you say be more flexible, you're talking about like mentally or physically?
Oh, no, absolutely mentally. Just don't. I've gotten so set in my thinking in the past where I'm convinced I'm right, and the alternatives have no place. So to get outside my box, my comfort zone, and just see what else is out there.
It's easy to get comfortable and don't stretch. I mean, that's for sure. Especially if you can start getting that inhibition to, or no, I don't want to say paranoia, but you don't go and do things anymore. You know what I mean? You just get comfortable doing nothing.
Yeah, and that's kind of the trap I've been into.
Okay.
That's part of my problem for the last couple of years is that I haven't been doing anything.
You probably need to get out there and start working something that you can enjoy. I mean, because you're totally capable. I mean, physically you're fine.
Yeah,
right?
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah,
physically.
well, that's a big deal. A lot of people aren't, at our age, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I got friends that are dropping like flies weekly, or maybe because there's so many people on my Facebook pages and stuff like that, or acquaintances or whatever. But it's like you got the gift of at least your physical health is there. You
Yeah,
just need
that's
to
true.
you need to get out there and go do something. I mean, to keep you busy, and that'll force you to stay busy. I mean, and plus something hopefully that you like. I don't know. Go invent something. I don't know. I don't know. Like all I can say is, I mean, at least you're aware of it, and I hope you can keep a grip on it to not go backwards. We'll check up on you maybe down the road and see how it's going.
All right, man.
But I appreciate you talking to people and me
Cool.
and doing this, because again, you really don't know how much you might be reaching somebody who is in a way worse state of mind than you are, and it could be the difference between life and death. And I'm really pissed off that YouTube yanked me off the air because this is not bad stuff. There we go. I got a whole bunch of. Let's see what we got here. It's there's a couple of comments. I know you can't see them. It says, "Thanks, Jeff. God bless you, brother." That's somebody, Lonnie, saying that.
Thank you.
Yeah. What else we got here? Paul says, "Good show. Thanks, Jeff." Good show, Jeff.
Wow.
Thanks. Yeah. No, there's going to be a lot more of that because.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
Yeah. And it's you don't know. And I've learned this through this show that I reach more people unknowingly by putting myself out there, and that's just exactly what you did, and I appreciate it. So again, maybe we'll check up on you a year from now or something like that. So stick around. The jokes are free.
Okay.
All right. Well, listen, again, thank you for having the courage to come on and just let your hair down, so to speak, and let it out.
Thanks for inviting me, Peter.
No, it's okay. I apologize for never having a clue, but being oblivious to this stuff, but you hit it kind of well. You didn't, as opposed to me, I'm an open book. I say, hey, Peter, how you doing? Oh, you don't know. It's just and it's like, you were just always you turned out to starting to be like the quiet guy and just kind of went with the flow, and we'd have a great afternoon of playing or whatever. And then everybody loads up and, we tell a couple of jokes and leave.
Right.
And then back to whatever you were going to. So, and those were great times. I kind of wish, that things didn't change a little bit, but the world is forever changing. So, all we can do is be thankful that we're here. That's a great start. So thanks, brother. I love you.
I love you too, Peter.
All right. And
Take care.
and again, the phone is always, I don't care if it's 3:00 in the morning. If I hear it, I'll pick it up. I rather have that than the guilt of I missed the call and something stupid goes down because you can't help it, and which happens way too much. And that's the problem. Yeah. All right. Well, I hope that this, like I said, that this show didn't bum you out.
No, man. I'm in a good mood. Thanks for talking.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff, hopefully reaching out to say you're not alone and it is real. So pay attention, people, and love life. It's precious. So, all right. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Peter.
All right,
Bye-bye.
man. See you later. Hang on. Let's do this. I'm so pissed off that YouTube threw me off that's the first time they've thrown me off. And usually they'll let the whole show record and then pull it. They pulled it minutes into the show. Here's to Jeff. Hope you guys hope it was worth the I hope it helps somebody. If it helps one person, worth every second. Screw YouTube. Oh. Wow. Wow. I'm blessed to say I have a lot of people in my life from the past, present, all kinds of friends. And life isn't easy. Life is not easy. You know, everybody's got issues, whether it's financial or whatever. But if you're still here, we're all here for a reason. So thank you, Jeff, for talking about that. For a lot of people, it's not easy to do. I've had people that were going to come on this show, talk about certain things, and at the last minute just completely like ghost me. They just couldn't do it. So I appreciate him for doing that. But yeah, it's heavy. But again, this is what I do on some days, and some days we'll do something else, but it's all good. Entertainment with a purpose. So I want to thank everybody for watching Life of Peter G, The Peter G Show, every Wednesday, like clockwork, right here, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Please, 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 even though YouTube just did what they did to me, keep subscribing to YouTube. Follow me on Facebook. And watch all the shorts on TikTok, and follow me there, Instagram, Rumble. I mean, all of them. I need all of them because I don't know who's going to throw me out. I'm trying to do good here, and YouTube just completely kicked me out. There could be people on YouTube, as there are many, who needed to hear this, and they completely blocked it because of their AI and bots and all that bullshit. I'm tired of it. I meant to hurt nobody here. We're here to help. Just sucks. Pisses me off. And, this wasn't even anything current event or political, taking a side or nothing. But I think I said a few words that maybe I haven't done this in so long. I maybe shouldn't have said a few words about offing yourself or things like that. I forgot. And that's what happens. But that's life. I'll try to figure it out and see if I could repost it up there, which they'll probably, let me post it if I reword it. But then they'll pick up some of the stuff and then ban me. Who knows? I don't care. We're fighting the good fight. But thank you. Again, I want to see everybody next week and every week. Please share. I need you to help me spread the word. That's the best thing you can do for me. Spread the word. And comments. I want to know what you think. Okay? I know I'm not pleasing everybody, and some people watch just to hate, but I'm into that too. If you don't like what I do, I'd love for you to call in and tell me you want to come on the show and tell me why. I think that's interesting too. We all learn from this. I do. I really do. But that's the way it goes. My name is Peter G. I want to thank you for watching. And yeah, don't forget, audio podcast, subscribe, listen, follow, all the above. That's it. And be kind. More than anything, be kind. It's a tough world out there. Jeff's a sweetheart. I'm telling you, he's like quiet. Believe me, back in the day, it wasn't like that. They were wild. They were like, get arrested, go to jail wild. Not for doing anything like criminal, just for being wild, stupid wild. But we all grew up and lived to tell about it. But be kind. It's a tough world out there. You don't have to take a bunch of shit from people, but you don't have to be an ass either. Life is short. Be thankful if you're listening and watching this show. Be thankful for being here, because every day I go on Facebook and somebody's checking out, willing or unwillingly, due to one circumstance or another. And I feel bad because I love life. And that was the biggest thing about thanking everybody for my birthday. I'm so truly grateful to be able to be here and just to be here, but I get to be here and do this. So I just keep wanting to make it bigger, better. And that way you can say, yeah, I remember Peter way back when, because I was just, before the show started, I was listening to an old promo, and it's like, should I play that? It's like, look at the journey. The journey's been incredible, but we have a long way to go, and I need your help. So thank you. All right. That's it. We'll see you next Wednesday. All right. Just be here. Please share. That's all I can ask you. Share everything. I love you guys. My name is Peter G. And peace out.
Peter G Show. Divorced dad, single dad. Divorced dad, single dad. Peter G Show.